What is going on, everyone? My name is Alex. Welcome to the video. Today we are going to make a different kind of video. We are going to react to Graham Stephan's video, My Worst Financial Mistakes. Before you dislike, unsub and all the stuff with this video, just know the fact that I am looking at things from my own perspective. I want to see what his own mistakes are, or what he thinks his own mistakes are, like the biggest mistakes or the worst mistakes, and then I'll see if I can relate or not, and actually look at the things he's saying from the perspective of living outside the US in a third world country like Romania, where some of the things that are applicable in the United States are not applicable here. And at the same time, the fact that I'm just leveraging part of his name and a bit of his video is actually taking his advice from his YouTube channel course and the advice that he gave Kevin by doing the same thing. So Graham, if you see this video by any chance, please don't be mad. I also got my 20-cent iced coffee to match with the video, so let's enjoy the iced coffee and see if I can relate with some of his mistakes or not. Note, I'm not a millionaire like he is, so I probably made a lot less mistakes so far. Probably that's why I'm not there.
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So I think it's no surprise that people are more likely to talk about their successes than they are their failures, and I'm certainly no exception to that. From all of my videos, I usually talk about what I've done right, and then I use that as an example to teach from. However, with this video, I'm going to be taking the completely opposite approach and talking about my worst financial mistakes that I have ever made, and hopefully those can serve as a valuable lesson that you can learn from too. Because at the end of the day, no one is perfect, we're all human, hopefully, and all of our previous mistakes really just shape us into the people we are today. So these are those mistakes that I have made, the lessons that I've learned, and how you can avoid making the same mistakes that I've made. Like not smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you have not already done that.
I really love the part with smashing the like button. So if you guys did not smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell button, I know we are 10 people, and out of those 10 people, like 7 are myself, so smash it. If someone that's not me is watching this video, smash the like button, please.
So I'm going to be starting off these mistakes in order from which they first happened, beginning with one of my earliest financial blunders ever, because I was an idiot and I was 15 years old. At the time, I was a sophomore in high school, and I happened to see an ad from Timothy Sykes, who became a stock market millionaire by trading penny stocks. And I thought to myself, hey, if he could do it, it's easy, I could do it too. So what I did is I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought myself a book on how to day trade stocks.
I had the exact same idea about a year ago, or like the past winter, of trying to go and actually like learn everything that Timothy Sykes put on his website, because I saw him on Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory show, how he was explaining like all his information is out there, is on his site, and it's like a bunch of content. You have to learn it, you have to try, you gotta put in the work to make money with penny stocks. And I thought, well, if I could generate the $1,000 from doing things like this, it might be worth it to just dive straight into like learning everything that he had on the website. So I started learning for like a week or so, and there was a lot of stuff that pointed to different like courses, sales, more sales, buying stuff from him just to get some more info, get some more access to some exclusive information, all that kind of stuff. And for me, that was a bit of a red flag, and I kind of like went away. Plus the fact that I didn't really get that much I didn't understand that much about trading penny stocks, and I did not know how the industry worked. I figured it might be a bad idea to just go into trying to do something that's not gonna be that secure in securing an income. And also here in Romania, you kind of don't have access to low fee trading platforms, and as such, it would have been probably a total bust if I would have done it. So that's my part with the penny stocks. Let's see what he did or what happened.
Another book on how to read candlestick charts, and I immersed myself in penny stock trading forums online where every single morning I would get an email with like the top stock tips of the day to make money with. So pretty much after a few weeks, I figured, I'm an expert now. So I took $2,000 of my own money. This is money that I had saved for years working part-time in high school, and I put that in a Scottrade account that I opened under my dad's name because I figured now is the time I'm going to make millions of dollars. Now, looking back at this in hindsight, all I was really doing was just gambling because I had no idea what was really going on.
I think everyone like goes through this where you think you just found the golden goose and that it's gonna lay eggs on like everywhere on the floor, but then it might turn out to be not that that a good idea. I'm really happy I stopped. So far from seeing this, I'm really happy I stopped trying to pursue that path. It probably would have been such a big bust for me. I have the same feeling that I would have done the same thing. I would have been gambling money just by trying to make some extra income, and just not knowing the industry or not understanding how things work should be a red flag in investing your money or putting in your money into that thing. So that would have been my thing or my perception about it.
Now, obviously, here's the lesson that I learned in this is number one, don't invest in anything you don't understand. Number two, don't invest in volatile penny stocks. And number three, don't just listen to someone's advice online about what they recommend to invest in without doing your own research first. Investing to make money takes time and patience and is absolutely not something you could just rush into. Now, the second mistake I made was certainly an eye-opener for me, and it was when I got a very brief job doing data entry for a precious metals investment firm right out of high school. So I started doing data entry for this company at pretty much minimum wage with the promise that eventually I could work my way up throughout the company and eventually make more money. Although very quickly I pretty much immediately realized that I could not stand the corporate business culture. I just hated working Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I hated wearing khakis. I hated wearing collared shirts and dress shoes, and I pleaded with my manager at the time to let me work in sales, which is eventually where I really wanted to end up being. Because for me, doing data entry felt totally soul-sucking. It felt like I was completely wasting my life away, just sitting in a computer, taking numbers from a piece of paper and then putting them into a computer. There's just like, it was awful. But I kept getting reassured by my manager that in order to get to sales, I had to work my way up from the very bottom, and that included data entry, and I just believed it. That was my mistake. I really believed that in order to get somewhere, you have to start off at the very bottom and work your way up and really prove that you deserve to be somewhere. And later, I found that no, that is not the case. You do not need to start at the very bottom and just work your way up.
I can relate so much with him at this point because, well, I am kind of in that position. The work that I'm doing is not that, let's say, impactful. It takes a lot of like data inputting, even if it's not like numbers from there to there. It's just like putting data of persons into contracts and all that kind of stuff. This is the idea with any like job or jobs that have a certain hierarchy, whatever, that have a certain ladder of progression, and you have to start from the bottom. And if you even go and say you talk with someone and hey, I want to do some more, I want to progress faster, I want to jump a few steps, what can I do, how can I improve to just get from here, I know I'm here right now, but just get to level 3, what knowledge, what skills do I have to acquire? Usually the situation is gonna be like you have to wait a year to get a promotion, to go to the next level, to do this, at this point you have to do that, someone has to do your job. This is the idea. Unless you work for yourself and you want to do more every single day and every single moment, and to progress faster, to learn more, to learn another trade, to be useful for your situation, it might not be the same thing as just working in a job. I mean, if you're trying to do the same thing there, it might take a while until someone takes you seriously. They obviously might at some point, but in the beginning, it's really hard for someone to take you seriously if you wanna, even if you show that you actually want to do more and achieve more. So I can totally relate to this. I'm in that position right now, so.
Now, I ended up figuring that out because shortly afterwards, I quit that job, got my real estate license, and figured that if I was going to go and sell real estate, I was just going to go to the most expensive area that I could possibly find that I could maybe sell real estate in, and that would be Beverly Hills. I didn't work my way up to that area. I just figured I want to start doing what I wanted to do, and I want to start being where I want to be. I just kept thinking to myself, if my goal is to one day sell $5 million homes, why am I going to waste my time in an area with $500,000 homes when instead...
I'm so happy that I saw this, because it's kind of a reassurance that there might be a way to just go from here to here directly, or start here and progress from there, because I could save so many years just by being able to skip a few steps in just building my income, building my lifestyle, the lifestyle that I want, the freedom that I want to have. And this is such a big reassurance, and I actually learned something from this. Like, I have to change the perspective, and I have to find a way to just start from another level. Basically, there has to be a way to start at a higher level and progress from there, and not start from like 2 feet down under the earth and just climb your way up.
I could just go and sell $5 million homes. Here's what I kind of figured out though by doing all of this. If there's something you really want, or there's somewhere you want to be, just go for it. Don't waste your time and energy trying to prove yourself, thinking that if you work hard enough, eventually you can get there and work your way on up. Now, I would say just skip that and start doing exactly what you want to do. Of course, you're going to end up making mistakes along the way, but I really believe that just going for it and then just kind of figuring it out as you go along could be some of the best experiences you'll ever have.
This is actually what I'm trying to do right now. I'm actually trying to skip a few steps. This was really helpful for me, because I really thought that I should just put in the work as hard as possible, and try to prove myself, so I could get a chance to go and level up every single year. But I'm also taking his advice in a way that I'm actually trying to build something and skip a few steps and do what I actually want to do and have the freedom that I want to have. So this video is actually made, or this entire channel or this entire journey started from the idea that you can do more if you want to. You just have to put in the work for yourself too, and try to build and skip a few steps by trying to leverage knowledge and platforms and all those things that we have at our disposal right now to build a life for yourself or myself that we actually want, and not have to abide by like strict rules or strict time frames and all that kind of stuff. So I hope if you reach this point in this video, you can relate, you can just see the perspective that I'm seeing things from, and I was able to picture it clearly enough so you can understand it, and at the same time understand why I watch this kind of videos, why I like looking at this kind of people. And I just learned from just watching this video and from different videos that there are other paths in life, and that's the main point that I got from this. And I don't have to just wait for someone to pick me up from here and take me here, or just abide by strict rules and try to create my own way and start from a level that I want to start actually.
Now, my third mistake is probably something that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think of, but looking back, this was a huge regret of mine, because back when I was in my early 20s, I did pretty much nothing but work. You know, I didn't have many friends, I didn't go out to parties, I didn't socialize for fun or anything like that. I was pretty much just a machine for productivity and working. And in the rare instance where I was invited out somewhere, usually I would just end up turning it down because I just saw that as a waste of time, when instead I can use that time to just get further ahead with work and make more money. But after a few years of doing that, I just became completely miserable. It just got to the point where I didn't have any friends, and I felt so isolated within work.
I'm actually doing that thing right now, so here's another thing that I have to learn from him and from his mistake. I'm making this mistake at this point, so I could have avoided making this mistake just like the other one. I learned from his mistake, and I'm trying to apply something to get past that. learn from his mistake, get the knowledge, and advance faster than otherwise if I would have made the mistake myself. But here I am in this position for about few years, like for 4 years. I did not hang out much lately or at all in the past few years. I was just working, or putting in the work, and I'm still doing the same thing. I'm not really hanging out that much. I just go to work, go to the gym, come home, shoot some videos, edit some videos, go to sleep, wake up, repeat, and that's pretty much my life so far.
And it felt like it was impacting everything because I became so one-dimensional of a person. So I started actively working on putting myself out there and socializing, and I was so awkward doing that because that was not something that I had previously done before. I developed such a bad social anxiety because I had no idea how just to let loose and relax. But anyway, long story short, I made a very serious effort to improve that part of my life and make friends. And within about 2 years of doing that, I ended up building up a really great social circle of friends that are still my friends today. Now, I put this one as a financial mistake because I realized, just from a financial perspective, that I didn't make any less money by going and hanging out with my friends instead of going and working. That, I think, was just a BS excuse that I made for myself because I didn't have any friends, and that's how I was able to justify just not going and hanging out with anybody and just going and working.
It was probably my situation too. I don't have that many friends because I didn't go out as much or I didn't socialize as much. So probably this is my thought process or my unconscious thought process too. I'd rather just put in some more work with a chance, here is the with a chance of making something for myself or growing faster or trying to grow this YouTube channel or the other avenues that I'm looking for, or putting in more time to get some more knowledge that's related to my work and basically excluding the other things that I would consider a distraction, like hanging out, going out, socializing and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I might just not have friends and that's just my excuse.
And if anything, I actually ended up making more money because some of those friends ended up buying or selling real estate or ended up referring me to people who did. So in a way, going and hanging out with friends actually helped me make more money. So at the end of the day, by doing that, I had more fun, I worked less, I was less stressed out, and I just happened to make more money, and I was able to let loose and just enjoy myself.
Well, yeah, I could relate to that because back when I was in the United States, I had a friend, actually a professor, that helped me meet certain people that could potentially change your life. I met some incredible people through him and heard incredible stories from him that I otherwise would have not have access to. So I can totally relate with what he's saying. Even though I did not make more money, I definitely got some extra connections and got some knowledge that I would otherwise would not have gotten. So
if you're watching this and you feel like you're in a similar position, just let loose, have fun, go hang out with your friends. It's not that big of a deal.
Now, probably I should implement some things to change some social aspects on my part.
Now, my fourth mistake came working as a real estate agent, and I'm 10,000% sure that anyone who owns a business or anyone who works in a sales industry will be able to relate to this one. When I first started working as a real estate agent, I worked with absolutely everybody. I figured that beggars couldn't be choosers, and if I had some free time, I may as well just fill it up with anyone who wanted to work with me so that way I would always have a completely full schedule. Eventually, however, after a few years of doing this, it just got to the point where I had too many people all demanding my attention. It was at that point that it became very difficult to work with everybody, so I figured, okay, I'm just gonna work even harder now. Even if I have to work 12-hour days, 7 days a week, I'm just gonna keep working to make everyone happy because that's what you're supposed to do. Turns out that was the wrong decision. I worked with too many people for too long without being selective of who I work with and being able to cut the people that were obviously just a waste of time.
I don't really have this situation because I'm not self-employed, but in a way I'm doing something similar with trying to offer my help with everyone that's needing help, and I sometimes get to do more stuff than probably other people, or I try to focus on too many things at the same time, like focusing on this channel, on another channel, on focusing on acquiring this knowledge or that knowledge, or focusing on learning too many trades at once. The more you divide your focus, the less you're gonna get. The more you narrow your focus, the more you're gonna get in that field. And this is something that I have to apply myself. Focus on just one thing, go with it, go full 100% on it, and just disregard like anything else, and just focus on the things that have the best ROI. That's what I get from this mistake.
So here's the lesson that I learned from all of this, is just be selective with who you work with and how you spend your time, and don't work with everyone for too long. Now my fifth mistake is something that's a little bit more subtle, but ultimately it led to where I am today, and that had to do with my previous real estate brokerage that I used to work for. It's just that after like 4 or 5 years of working there, I basically felt like my career had flatlined. It just wasn't fun anymore. I didn't have the same excitement with it as I once did when I first started, and I just felt bored, and in a weird way, I also just felt trapped. That's because I was earning a decent low 6-figure income.
Man, when I'm hearing like 6 figures a year, like even low 6 figures, it's in a way at this point it seems very hard to attain, because here in my position, if I would have to continue like on this path, it would probably take me more than 10 to 15 years to achieve a 6-figure income that might not even be there. There's definitely another way to pursue things to achieve not 6 figures but high 5 figures or something else without waiting for 10 years. Going back to point number 2 on starting from the bottom and working your way up. So see why looking at some of the people or looking at their mistakes, you can learn so much if you are open to it. This is something that I have to reevaluate. I have to reevaluate the way that I'm pursuing things, the way that I'm starting, and the way that I'm looking at progress. There's so many things, so many valuable things in this video.
It was a really easy atmosphere to work in. It was very low stress, and everything was pretty much on autopilot. But deep down, I just didn't feel like I was growing as a person and was no longer challenged. But I stuck with it because I just felt like I would be an idiot to go somewhere new and risk losing what I already had. Then completely randomly out of nowhere, I got an offer from Jason Oppenheim at the Oppenheim Group to join him at the new office he was opening up and leave Coldwell Banker. It was a really good offer, but deep down, I was so nervous about losing what I had.
This is what I got from this mistake of being too comfortable, is the fact that you have to break the comfort zone in order to grow. So this is actually going outside the comfort zone in order to put myself in the position to grow, to learn to earn more, to learn to give more back, to put myself out there and actually give myself a try at a life that I actually want. This is the great thing with this kind of videos. I mean, even though we react or we look at them and I look at them and then I talk about my own experiences about them, this is something that it's applicable to like anyone. So I encourage you to watch people like him or people that you look up to, learn from their mistakes, learn from the information they share, and then apply them to yourself. At least that's what I'm trying to do. I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button, destroy the subscribe button. Let's wrap this thing up, and I'll see you in the next one.